Still do not have an intro, but look at these rosy cheeks. Oh my god, London is cold right now, I'm telling you that. But anyway, away from my little rosy reds, we're going to go back to some poker. And I need to say a big thank you to everyone last week. Well, last week, it's actually 2 days ago. It's actually yesterday. I'm recording this the day after that video went out. The reaction was unbelievable, honestly. The feedback, the comments, the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, all amazing. But today it has to stop. It has to stop because today you need to get in these comments and you need to tell me I'm a whale, I'm a fish, I'm awful, I don't know what I'm doing. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, it's a hand. It's a hand that I've lost sleep over. It's a hand I've lost money over. It's a hand I've lost houses over. It's a hand I've lost credibility over. Sam Grafton doesn't swap with me anymore because of this hand. He used to always message me, do you want to swap 5%? Do you want to swap 10%? Oh, I'm feeling good about today. Do you want to swap 20%? Today, look at my, should I get my WhatsApp out? Because my WhatsApp and Sam Grafton haven't had a single swap request since last summer. We were living together. We were housemates. Nothing. So today is going to be a hand that we need to speak about. It's the hand that I've never spoken about. But it's a hand I've never spoken about because I try to shy it away from myself. I try to hide it from myself. It's on the big stage. It's a World Series of Poker. It's a final table. We're four-handed. The bracelet is literally... My arms aren't very long, but I can almost grab the bracelet. If I had arms as long as David Peters, I would be able to grab that bracelet and bring it back. But I don't. The cash was in front of us. Everything was there. And I let myself down. So, let's jump into it. Okay, so guys, I finished the video now, but at the end of the video, there's a very important thing that you're going to have to do. I have a request of how I want you to give me pain. So you're going to see how much money I lost in this video. And at the end, check the last 1 minute out of anything else. Make sure you get there. You can even skip along later on, doesn't matter. But I have a request that I need you to do. I need you to be there, and I need you to go into the comment section and tell me something. You're gonna see by the end, you're gonna work it out, but I just need you guys to do this one thing for me. Get to the end and give me the pain. You need to give me the pain in this way.
671 players started this tournament. We're down to our final 6. 101 players made the money, but only one player will take home $380,000.
So this is the event. This is the tournament. This is the hand. It all comes from here. But first of all, I just need to give a big shout out to PokerGo. PokerGo have an amazing content. They record all the World Series, all your favorite TV shows, Poker After Dark, High Stakes Poker. They've got a great team. Remco, Hanks, Jeff Platt, all the guys there, Carrie Katz, everyone involved, just amazing guys, and they do so much for poker. So I'm going to put a link in the description too. It's not an affiliate link or anything like this. It's just a link where you can sign up if you want to watch your favorite TV shows. So definitely worth checking PokerGo out. And thanks again to them for allowing me to use this footage. Okay, so let's go. The hand is from the $3,000 WSOP event number 9 in 2019, so last summer. There was no WSOP this summer, of course. It's one of the last events of the series. It's a huge field. It's after the main event. Everyone's playing. First place is usually around about $400,000. We've locked up now over $80,000, and you can see the chip stacks. The chip stacks are really interesting. So I have 32 big blinds. It's big blind 100K. Gonzalez has 37 big blinds in small blind. Nolte has 3.7 million in the big blinds. So they're the two chip leaders with basically exactly the same stack size. I'm the next stack, which is kind of a little bit below them. Not really interested in trying to accumulate chips. My goal in the tournament right now is to kind of hang around, finish in the top 3, allow these two stacks to bust, but still stay close enough to the chip leaders where I can win the tournament. Ivan Daira is a French regular, very, very accomplished, good player. Nolte is a high-stakes crusher, one of the toughest guys to play against. This well-dressed French-Canadian guy here. Such a nice guy, I just want to point it out straight away. Really like his company, think he's a great player, he has a great mindset, he's aggressive, really tough to play against. This Debo guy I've never played against before. I believe he's some kind of live cash guy from America. Seemed like he was playing well. Then Gonzalez is a another American player, seemed to be playing well, like a little bit on the tighter side perhaps. Very, very nice guy. I think very successful in what he does. So yeah, interesting final table, and I'm going to allow the clip to play.
Tuckman. People have been telling me this.
I'm being honest.
For a long time. I'm starting to think this isn't even a joke.
It's not a joke. I genuinely like you.
Yeah.
You have, yeah, listen.
Are you saying I outkicked my coverage?
I asked him this earlier.
I took Tuckman's tilt. I put him on the spot. I'm sorry, buddy.
It is, it's 4x89 exclamation point. I have no idea. Patrick Leonard with Pocket Jacks. Somebody let us know. Tweet us at Tuck on Sports, at bhanks11. Let us know who is the currently number one online ranked poker player. Lance Bradley, are you there? Let us know.
This. Oh, never mind. These two are the deepest stacks. All right, this is going to just get called.
Right.
So the hand starts out with me raising under the gun with pocket jacks. I'm going to be pretty tight here. I'm not incentivized to have much of a raising range. I want to play tight. I don't need to accumulate chips. I see people making a lot of mistakes here. A lot of people start limping in this kind of situation where there's a lot of ICM pressure. However, one of the functions of limping is that you want to expand your range and play a wider range. For example, in the small blind, you limp a lot, so you can complete a lot of your range and then you protect your limps. Same maybe, you know, like on the button, if you want to play a bunch of hands as the guy who's definitely going to be in position. However, here, I have a range which wants to play very tight and aggressive. I want to take the pot down pre-flop with lots of hands. I want to raise hands with blockers. So I'm not raising a hand like 5-4 suited here, which has good playability. Or I'm not incentivized to play a hand like 5-4 suited here, which has a lot of playability. I'm incentivized to play hands like Ace-10 offsuit, which wants to take it down now. King-Jack offsuit, which wants to take it down now. Pocket nines, which is very happy to take it down now. So I see a lot of people making this mistake pre-flop of having a limping range when they're supposed to be quite tight. When you want to be tight, play tighter, have a raising range only, and don't try to make a theoretical play, which is kind of to expand your range, because we're not incentivized to expand our range here. Folds to the big blind here with pocket fours. I was expecting him to see a flop. Jesse Sylvia, I think, on commentary was saying, okay, he's just going to call here. They're too deep. Let's have a look how the hand plays out.
The thing that people need to know, B-Hanks, you definitely know this, but the thing that people out there need to know that you might not pick up is you got to come into the booth hot. You got to needle Tuckman immediately, or else he's going to come after you.
Oh, I get him every time.
It's kill. Yeah. Well, you know, but I'm just letting people know. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just kill or be killed out here in these crazy streets. Tuckman's going to get you.
It's a reckless environment. Speaking of reckless.
I'm thinking here, I'm like, okay, this guy may free bet non-all in. Like, he may leverage the fact he's chip leader and I don't want to go in with many hands. He may free bet to, let's say, something like 800k. This would be a really good play with a hand like ace-8 offsuit. If he free bet ace-8 offsuit, I would fold hands like ace-10 offsuit, which dominate him. I would fold hands like probably king-10 suited, which do really well against him. I would fold some pocket pairs, maybe like pocket 8, stuff like this, because I'm not incentivized to play a really big pot here. I was quite observant that, you know, we're 35 big blinds deep. I'm not going to face too many shoves. The top of his range, typically like aces and kings, will likely free bet non-all in. And a hand's like ace-5 suited probably are going to just play as a call. And then he's going to leverage his range to play more free bet non-all in. So we're going to see like maybe ace-8 off free bet and maybe something like king-2 suited or something like this potentially. And then obviously the top of his range as well. That's how I imagined his range to kind of play. I didn't really imagine too many shoves, so you can see me here with glasses on. I'm not sure about my luck there, kind of cringy, right? But I am kind of thinking, okay, this guy's thinking about free bet me non all in. He knows I'm quite tight, I think, so he may take this line quite aggressively. I was telling myself, okay, I'm most likely going to just go for a call if he free bets me, because he either has aces, kings. He probably just shoves himself with ace king most of the time, but he probably has aces or kings, or he has a bluff. So jacks does terribly when I go in, because I make him fold ace-8 offsuit. I make him fold king-2, which I have crushed. But if we go all in and he calls, he's going to have aces or kings and I'm dead. So it's better for me to 4-bet shove a hand like ace-5 suited here, which has equity against kings, blocks aces, and blocks a lot of the middling cards, which may choose to 3-bet non-all-in. So I'm basically predicting he's going to 3-bet non-all-in when he's taken this long, and then I was going to go for a call.
This won't be our last broadcast.
No late,
Jesse.
taking a little time.
Oh, yeah?
What is he thinking
All
about
right.
with the force?
Yeah.
I assume this is just a call, and he's going to rip it.
he did it.
Oh, my.
Straight away here, just move this over here. Straight away, you can kind of see that I just take my glasses off straight away. I'm thinking, what's going on?
I assume this is just a call, and he's going to rip it.
he did it.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
I'm very shocked.
This is...
Usually I like to take kind of like be quite composed and not make big reactions or anything like this because I want to get a read myself in some other ways or take my time and really think.
Pads is
But I was
wildly
just so-
sensitive to these close ICM spots too. He spends a lot of time working on these, and he knows this is actually a really, really rough spot with jacks.
Yeah, we noticed this earlier on, how
Wow.
how sensitive he is to these moments. He
Yeah.
realized, notice that it's not a snap call from him. He realizes
Yeah.
that, I mean, his opponent might have some bluffs in his range, but, does his opponent have ace-king right now?
I
Do
mean,
you
what
want
a
to risk
sick
our whole tournament
spot.
life?
You've got 2 stacks below him with just 15 and 12 big blinds
Yeah.
effective.
This is a 32 big blind shove, though. I mean, this is a lot of chips.
I think what's going to end up happening is Pads is going to begrudgingly call.
I don't know how I'll put it this way. Is your opponent really 3-bet shoving aces and kings?
That's a good question.
That is a good question from Tuckman. So I don't think he was necessarily shoving aces or kings, but I also ask myself, is he shoving 8s and 7s, Is his range just a lot of ace-king, ace-queen? If he shows me ace-king here, I'm folding. If he shows me ace-queen here, I'm folding. I'm not expecting to see the low pocket pairs. I'm not expecting to ever see 9-8 suited, which I dominate. So I'm thinking, what is he shoving? I'm really trying to work it out. I'm counting my stack. I'm trying to think exactly what's going on here.
And if he's not doing it with aces and kings, it's just
That's a very good important point.
and if he's got any bluffs in his range at all. And by the way, these guys, it's worth mentioning, these two are familiar with each other. They were both down in Rio de Janeiro for the Party Poker Millions. They know each other. They played poker with each other. Yeah, they know each other. Guillaume plays the high rollers.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, do they know each other like they're friends, or they know each other like they played together?
I don't know how well they know each other. I'll just put it this
Yeah.
way. Guillaume plays. Patrick knows who he is.
Because if Patrick is grinded next to Guillaume, or
So my perception of Guillaume, sorry if I say your name wrong, by the way. My perception of him is that he's extremely aggressive, on the very, very, very aggressive side at this time. Maybe slightly changed now, but at the time I thought he was one of the most aggressive regulars that I played against a lot. But I thought he was smart aggressive. I thought he's the kind of player who is very kind of sensitive to his image, and he understands how people are going to be viewing him. So he'll, not take the spot in the very obvious spots. He may take some unconventional lines, and he'll be very aggressive against maybe amateurs who he thinks he can push around. But I think he knows I see him as being so aggressive. So I expect him typically not to really go after me so often. But yeah,
or they've talked a lot of poker. Patrick may be of the idea that Guillaume never does this light, and so this could be like a sick little leveling spot where Guillaume knows that Patrick knows that, and he goes for the light one, and Patrick's.
if we remember the last video where we were speaking about live tells, if you remember, Jamie was really strongly looking at me. He was staring me in the eyes. He was trying to cause that aggression, cause that friction. Look at Guillaume here. He's really staring down at the felt, avoiding eye contact, avoiding that kind of aggressive kind of dynamic between us, which is definitely something to take into account, right? He's weak here. He wants me to fold. And we can see the difference between Guillaume here and Jamie in the last video where he had pocket queens. And of course, both of them may be consistent each time, but it's definitely something to consider.
Patrick's.
Maybe this is the one.
What does he do with ace-queen, ace-king in this spot? Does he just rip it, no lay? We don't know that. And if it is,
I think
clearly Patrick's considering, wow, I'm flipping.
I think he's. Oh, I'm sorry.
So I actually say out loud there, I'm I'm pretty sure that we're flipping. I'm pretty sure you have ace king or ace queen. No, the hand really makes sense to do this. I think you have ace king or ace queen. Like, can we swap a percentage? I think I said. I was like, if we go all in and you have an ace king and we're flipping for like, 300k equity here, are we allowed to swap percentages like legally? I think World Series doesn't allow you to. But my thinking in my mind here is that he 100% has ace king, and when I have jacks here, I have to fold if he's got ace king unless we can swap a percentage.
I think it's pretty safe to say that Guillaume is ripping those hands.
Yeah.
But seeing those, like being in a flip against those is really bad for both of you with short stacks in there.
Right, which makes me think that Leonard could easily just fold jacks here.
Yeah, maybe.
And how often, I mean, would he do it with even, would Patrick consider, Nole, to do it with a hand like 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s?
That's the thing.
He may think that he's always flatting hands like that.
Yeah.
So he's only beating 8s, 9s, 10s if that were the situation.
I mean, if he does not think he's jamming 4s, he's probably asking himself right now if Guillaume ever jams 8s or 7s.
Sure, that's.
So, I mean, to me, it makes more sense to jam pocket 4s than pocket 8s, because when he has pocket 8s, he blocks me having raised folds like ace 8 suited, 7 8 suited, 8 9 suited, pocket 8s. When he has pocket 4s, he unblocks me having like raised folds. And pocket 8s and pocket 4s have basically the same equity when all in against a range of like jacks plus ace king. So to me, it makes more sense to jam the pocket 4s and to call the pocket 8s. Whereas the commentators are kind of saying that I won't expect him to have pocket 4s, but I'll be asking myself, does he have pocket 7s, pocket 8s? Like, pocket 7s, pocket 8s were the last times I expected
That's what
him.
he thinks is like the bottom for sure.
Right, so he thinks he's flipping all the time, and I think it's just a really disgusting spot. Obviously, he's been in the tank this long.
Does he ever have ace 5? Does he ever have a bluff?
No, I don't think so.
He needs to be really, really tight here. This is a...
Hey guys.
0. That's really bad.
Again, trying to get reaction. He's not giving me any eye contact. I was waiting basically for him to start staring me down, and if he stared me down, I probably was going to call, but he just wasn't. I just didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. If he started changing his mannerisms to like force me to fold, but he just kept so consistent, I couldn't get anything out of him. Had to.
You're gonna think I'm slow rolling you here.
Try to talk to him. So I ask him a question here. I say to him, "You're gonna think that I'm slow rolling you here." Which is kind of true, potentially. He may think that, but I was also trying to get a smile out of him. If I said to him, you're going to think I'm slow rolling you here, if he doesn't react to me again, in my opinion, he's like trying to not give anything away, stay stoic. Whereas if he smiles or like does something, he's more likely going to have a different kind of opinion, I think. Trying to make me fold that way, I think.
You're going to be angry at me here.
Again, trying to get some information.
I'm going to be angry.
I was also trying to look very laid back myself. I'm taking kind of the drink. I have my, I'm sitting quite comfortably. I'm trying to get him to be showing me he's relaxed as well, because often you'll try to show a sign of maybe strength by trying to sit back and be relaxed, trying to go into a similar mannerism as me. So this is what I'm trying to attempt to do right now. I'm not just wasting time. And then let it go.
Wow. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Look what happens here.
Show it, come on, show it! For the cameras, baby! Come on,
Is he going to show one? Oh my.
Shows me a 4. I'm like, oh my God.
Incredible.
Haven't watched this back.
That's devastating to get shown the 4.
It is heating up out here. All the rails.
I mean, I'm fucking hating life now.
Wow, what can you say here?
Yeah.
Unbelievable
This guy was
stuff.
loving it, by
I
the way.
was with
So
you, Jesse. I
chirpy.
didn't think you'd
So
find the
chirpy.
fold. Really? Let's hear him. Well, it's one of those two.
Meanwhile, right back at it. Dara now with the...
To be honest, I don't think he has pocket 4s at this point. I'm like, okay, he has ace 4, right? Like, he has ace 4 suited, which I'm like, even if he has... I'm still thinking, if he has ace 4, ace king, ace queen... like, I'm not even doing well against suited aces and overcards. I know I'm supposed to fold. Like, if he shoves ace 4, ace 5, ace king, ace queen, I'm supposed to fold anyway. So right now I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's not that bad of a fold. Then, like, a few minutes later, I find out he has 4s. I'm like, oh, God. So, yeah, this was it. This is the hand. Gonna end this little bit now and go into some analysis. So yeah, let's see how costly this was. Okay, let's try to do some simulations now. I'm going to basically click every single hand until I can justify jacks being a fold. Then you're gonna walk away from this video saying Pads is a genius, when really I'm just manipulating you to making me feel like a better poker player. So yeah, get ready for that. No, I'm just joking. This video is going to be now, I'm going to basically just say like what I thought in game, and I'm going to probably prove myself that I was wrong, and I'm going to show you how I now analyze final tables. So you're going to press Advanced Monte Carlo hand. Here are the stack sizes. Here are the prize pool. I've already entered this. From here, you're going to change from multi-table ICM to Malmouth Harville ICM. Always a mouthful saying that. What I like to do is also change the big blinds from chips into big blinds, because I feel like it's easier to analyze. Say, oh yeah, this guy's got 12, this guy's got 15, rather than this guy's got 326,000. It also means it's tougher for you to make mistakes because you just type in simple numbers in here. The hand went down, raise, then shove, so you only need to put in these outputs. And yeah, you run it basically like this very quickly. We're going to look at my raising range first of all. So I basically will make my raising range here based on the fact that my small pocket pairs I will raise if I can call off the short stacks. So if I'm in a situation where the short stack has, say, 7 big blinds, I may raise deuces, because if he goes all in, I can just call off and they play okay, etc. But when the small stacks here had like 12, 15 big blinds, I can probably call 8s plus, and I'm more incentivized to open hands with blockers than I am hands with pocket pair kind of raw equity. So I will open something like all suited broadways for sure. I'd open something like this. I can tell you I'm going to be tight, but honestly, if I look down at that 10-9 suited, that 10-9 of clubs, I'm not folding. I'm not folding 9-8 suited. You know, it's maybe it's a leak, but I'm just saying this is my range, right? So I would open something like this. I'm incentivized to be very, very tight. There's one guy with 15 big blinds, one guy with 12 big blinds. Let's just go back and look at the stack sizes. So a guy with 12 and a guy with 15 on the button and the cutoff. This is something which I call collision effect. So there's extreme collision effect here because the short stacks are in late position. When the short stacks are in late position, it means they're more likely to go all in more often with a wider range. And when someone goes all in with a wider range, someone's going to call them looser. So let's just say the short stacks had 25 big blinds. The collision effect is quite low because they're not going to go all in very often. They're going to play tight. They're going to preserve their tournament life. But the button has 12 big blinds. When the short stack is on the button or the short stack's in the small blind, there's a lot of collision effect. When there's a lot of collision effect, it's important that you play pretty snug, because I'm not incentivized to open a hand like 6-7 suited or Queen 8 suited. I won't be making much money. You can see here that in HRC, in their calculation, I'm losing $400 by opening. Who knows if this is correct or not? Maybe it's slightly plus EV, maybe it's even more minus EV, but it's going to be quite borderline. Whereas aces tells me I'm making $12,000, you know, so there's a big difference. And hands in between, like King Queen suited, I'm making $800. So we can see that King Queen suited is making like 4 times as much as Queen 8 suited is kind of losing. That kind of like realm I'm speaking about. So in general, I would say that like 8 plus, this kind of range is good mainly because of collision effects. This is my range, which I believe is important to point out. When we look into this, I'm going to straight away press Monte Carlo. I'm going to press reset the entire game tree, and I'm going to do 50 million iterations here. Shout out to Pondiddy Nomalist for some of the help there as well. And yeah, going to let this run. All right, so when I raise here, we can see that the big blind is shoving pretty wide on me. So my range is pretty wide. Maybe it's too wide. We can see the hands he's shoving are like deuces, threes, fours, fives. How much is deuces making as a shove? Deuces is making, you know, $1,000. It's not too bad. Whereas ace-3 suited is making like 3,000. So almost 3 times as good. Good maths, Pads. But when he does that, it's expecting me to, even though his range is really wide. So we can see that he's shoving loads of hands. Even when he's shoving this wide, I'm still only calling off like kings plus. In reality, I believe that he can expect me to call all in with like ace, king, and 10s plus. So again, we're going to update the entire game tree, and we're going to see that how wide will he be shoving when I'm calling pretty wide. All right, so we're back. We can see here that he will basically be shoving something like queens plus ace king, because it's 35 big blinds. Remember, if he's risking a lot. He's risking 35 big blinds to win basically like 3.5 big blinds. The ante's really small. You know, it's a situation where essentially he's just risking so many chips to not really improve so much, you know, like it's a high risk reward. So in general, he is not incentivized at all to be shoving wide. But when he is shoving something like, you know, we can imagine, let's just imagine what we actually, this is what I thought. So in game, I thought he'll probably shove 10s plus, and I thought he'll maybe aggressive with these suited aces. So he'll shove ace queen maybe. And then I thought he may be aggressive sometimes with some suited aces, essentially. So I'm going to give him 50% of all these hands. I mean, that's aggressive for what I think, but yeah. I'm going to give him this range, and we're going to press reset again, and we'll be back in a second. Right, that's ran. So when he is shoving that wide with all of those suited aces, we can see here in the big blind, I'm still incentivized to call really tight because I'm going to be up against a hand with just 30% equity. So 30% of the time, I'm going to lose the next pay jump. I'm going to be out of the tournament. I'm going to lose the next pay jump, next pay jump, next pay jump. So just being up against 30% equity hands is going to be really, really bad for a hand like pocket jacks. Now, we can see jacks here is minus 2.35 and losing 22,000 by calling off against that kind of range. What I'm going to do now is show the difference between suited aces and pocket pairs. So we're going to change all of these suited aces where I have 30% equity to all the hands which I dominate at the highest frequency, which is going to be the underpairs. So we're going to give all of these 50% frequency, actually it was. So, and then we're going to compare how it looks like. So give them all of these hands, and we're going to run it again, reset the entire game tree. Okay, so we've given him this, and we can see Jax now has improved a lot. So Jax has improved from a minus 22,000 hand to a minus 13,000 hand, and we can see it's gone down from like minus 2.3 to like minus 1.3, I think it was. So quite a big difference here straight away. And what's the lesson here? The lesson is when you're in the big blind, you want to shove suited aces instead of pocket pairs. They're going to perform better. They're going to have more equity against the calling range. You can just see here, for example, like ace 4 suited is making minus 0.05, whereas pocket 4s is minus 0.68. So you're losing around about $6,000 shoving pocket 4s, and with ace 4 you're losing around about 5,600. So you can see just a little bit of a difference. Suited aces generally going to outperform the low pocket pairs. So the next thing to consider is and again, please don't be in. Whenever you watch one of these videos, always wait until like the end of the analysis before typing. You've put in pocket aces. He doesn't have pocket aces, because yeah, we're going to go into that now. Hopefully, I'm going to cover it all. Pocket aces, I believe he most likely won't shove. What I'm going to actually suggest is that shoving aces is really good here, because if he shoves aces and everyone calls, say, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, ace, king, then it's really good to shove aces because you don't give someone a fear. Like if he free bets aces, his range is so polarized. I'm not going to shove a hand like pocket 10s or pocket jacks. I'm probably just going to call. But when he shoves, most likely most people are going to call all in with a lot of hands. So actually the exploit probably should be to shove aces, but I think probably this guy won't do it. So aces, kings, ace king suited, we're going to take these out, and we're going to leave in all the hands we dominate. So this is a kind of range which is really favorable towards pocket jacks. Let's see how we're doing now. Oh, need to always press reset the entire game tree. Important one to do. Okay, so we can see here, versus that range, I can call pocket jacks. And you know, maybe this is a realistic range for what he had. Maybe this is reasonable for what he shoved in game. Like, he shoved a pocket pair. Maybe he ends up shoving his 100% frequency. But, you know, this is a range which obviously jacks does really well against. If I believe my opponent had this range, I would have called jacks. Let's just see how much jacks is winning. So jacks is winning 0.28, and it's winning $2,700. So yeah, I mean, if we think this is his range, and it probably is his range now looking back, my fold is bad. Hands up, it's bad. What I thought it was one of the first ranges that I showed you, where he's not shoving all the pocket pairs, which I don't believe these pocket pairs are making money. I'm not trying to berate him. I think he's a fantastic player and really tough guy to play against. I just don't believe these hands are making too much money shoving. if at all, and he has such a big edge on some of the other players, etc. So if this is his range though, like, yeah, I've made a terrible fold. What I want to do now is something quite fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out his hands, and this is what happened. He had pocket fours and I folded. So what I'm going to do is see how much money I lost in this one game by folding this hand. Did I lose a house? Did I lose a Tesla? Did I lose 5 Bitcoin? Let's have a look. Drum roll. I mean, I have some anxiety here. I'm panicking. I'm gulping a little bit. Before I repaused it, I swear my heart's beating. I'm finally going to find out how bad did I play here. How much money did I lose? Every guy I swapped with, when you're watching now, you lost 5% of whatever I did here. So Sam, European, whoever else was there, Pone Diddy, very sorry. Let's have a look. Oh, that's a high number. Jacks, $42,000. By not calling off here, I lost $42,000. Obviously, this time he had fours. He could have ace king. He could have queens, whatever it may be. But I lost $42,000 here. I just need to. I need a second to just let this sink in. I thought it was bad. I didn't know it was this bad. All right, it's over. It's done. It's done. It is what it is, though, you know, like, obviously this is the worst case scenario where he only has pocket fours and I have pocket jacks here. What I would like to say is that I think I made a big mistake of not taking into account future game simulation. Being the guy who can have 70 big blinds, knocking out a really good player, and being left with 2 maybe less experienced players and 1 professional who I would have a big chip advantage on, that would just be such a great spot for me. I would most likely have won the bracelet. I would most likely have won the 380,000. And you know, at the time, it really got to me for a long time. I was like, oh, I should just called. If I just threw those chips in, I almost found myself like almost feeling, oh, I just wish I threw those chips in. Like, you almost try to get the flashback and think, oh, I wish I'd called. You know, like, what happened if I just literally picked my chips up and put them in? But I didn't. And it's okay, you know, like, I'm almost happy with my fold versus a range that I think I should be against. I think Jax is not doing great. I think Jax is, like, maybe winning a little bit. If we take into account future game, maybe it is good to gamble really wide. But again, it's 35 big blinds. I've put 2 big blinds in. He's made a really big shove with 5-handed. There's 2 short stacks. There's so much chance of collision. I am going to get 2-handed, 3-handed pretty often, even if I just fold this hand. So I do know why I folded, but it's your turn now. You need to be in these comments, and you need to be berating me. You need to be telling me, what a terrible fold. I would never fold pocket jacks. What I want you to actually do is tell me, with $40,000 that you would have made from calling here, what would you have spent that $40,000 on? I want you to be creative. I want you to tell me in the comments, with $40,000, what would you have bought for yourself and your wife or your girlfriend or your friend this Christmas? Because I want the pain. I want to feel the pain. When you tell me a trip to the Bahamas and this and that, I don't want you to just tell me something for $5,000. I want you to spend every penny of that $40,000, and I want you to tell me. That's what I want. That's what I want to feel. So please, if you have gotten this far, go to those comments. Make me feel worse. And yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll be making a video next week. I'll probably be doing one where I make a good play again, because this has hurt my ego, this one. This has really hurt me this time. So again, I've been Pads on Poker. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the other side.